Welcome to the Rent Party, and you're listening to the Rent Party Jam. The sounds you're about to hear are gonna make you get up out your seat and dance, dance, dance to this funky, funky beat.
Once again, we are back.
Welcome.
Welcome, your favorite S.O.Bs, your favorite sons of a bishop.
Is that what we are?
Sons of a bishop.
I'm Kenny Pat.
I'm Todd C.
And we're glad y'all here.
We back again. We had fun last week.
I hope y'all had a good time.
We had a lot of fun. Look at that spider coming down.
Right. What's that from?
All right. I almost have a new star of the show. I did bring a little co-host. Anybody know who this is?
No, who is it?
Hit us, tell us in the comment box if you know who this little guy is. Hey, y'all. We back.
We are back. How was your week so far?
Man, it's been good. We had a good week. Had a good response from last week's show. We want to say thank you to Dawkins and Dawkins for coming out last week. We really didn't have no listening party, so we do apologize. We got carried away.
It was more like a catch-up party.
It was more memories, like
a catch-up party.
And going down memory lane, but people told me they enjoyed us going down memory lane, so we're going to have them come back.
And actually listen.
Do listen to some music instead of some stories. We do have a lot of stories. We got another great story tonight we're going to tell and share with you. How was your week?
Week was good. So, Saturday, I was invited to a birthday celebration Saturday. I don't normally go. I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm like not into crowds. I don't know where that's coming from. But anyway, go to a birthday celebration, right? 10 people. The birthday host introduces everybody around the table. I only knew one person. This is a former coworker. So we're sitting there, and two of the other party guests are PKs, right? Mm-hmm. So the party host says, hey, got 3 PKs here. Do you know the other 7 people was like, ugh, ooh, y'all bad. What is this stigma that is on a pastor's kid?
I don't know.
Were we bad?
No, we was not.
We were what? We were not allowed to what?
Be bad.
Because what's her name?
Juanita Neal.
She was locked and loaded at all times. If you knew our mother, she did not play. So I'm trying to figure out this whole stigma around a pastor's kid?
I don't know. I don't know.
I just say we were born, yes, raised in, but our parents, we ain't our parents.
Well, that's your. I almost had a rant for today for you, but I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe some people can comment and tell us what they think of pastors' kids and things of that
Are we
nature.
supposed to be perfect? Are we supposed? What are we supposed to be?
I don't. I'm
no,
tired.
I'm Pat. I'm Kenny Pat.
I'm tired. See, that's all I could be.
That's all I wanted to be. So,
Yeah.
so that was my interesting Saturday night. I actually put on clothes.
Oh, really?
But the other PKs, we had that discussion as well. And we were all like taken aback. Like, why does everybody think that we are the worst people or the worst people on earth? Because our parents are pastors. That's what they chose. I didn't choose it.
Right.
So,
Okay.
you wouldn't want me to preach at your church anyway. So I'll tear it apart.
Yes. Remember to follow us on Facebook, so all the social media platforms. Tonight we're only coming from Facebook Live. So tonight we're on Facebook Live. Next week we'll be on YouTube. But tonight we are just on Facebook Live. We got a great show for you tonight. Great show. Once again, I want to thank everybody that came out last week. Our doctors. Matter of fact, we have one of the doctors back tonight. You guys, we got a lot of great response about mental health. So we're going to bring her back tonight and talk a little bit more about. Pat has a topic he wants to dive into. Our special guest tonight, we have musical. June is Black Music Month. June is Black Music Month, and I invited a gentleman I'm proud of. He's from Kansas City. He has a very unique story. His name is Velle. We're going to talk to him, listen to some music. Then we're going to do a business spotlight tonight, and we're going to have Kevin Robe, also from Kansas City, businessman and a comic. He has a comedy club in Kansas City, and I wanted to make sure that we gave him some time to. Sometimes people don't even know.
Right, I didn't even know that there was I knew there were comedy clubs in Kansas City, but I didn't know there was one owned by a black man.
Yes, and there's not that many in the country. So
right,
we definitely want to support him, and he'll be coming on our show tonight. Remember, once again, like the page, tell your friends,
subscribe.
Hit the share button now.
Please share and subscribe.
Hit the share button. We're not asking you for any money right now or anything right now. We just need to get the numbers up and let people know that S.O.B TV is here.
You're not going to call for $100 line?
No $100 line. No $100 line.
Because you know we will, because we know we can.
I'm not going to do it. Pat probably can do it.
Let the Lord speak to your hearts.
Let him speak today. Great. So we get to that point now. You want to call the next topic and we can get this show on the road.
Last week, again, due to the overwhelming response from Marsha Moore, Swilly therapist, and Dr. Malika Brown, mental health is a topic that, let's just be honest. We said we're going to be transparent, right?
Right.
It is a conversation that is mostly a taboo in our community. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, especially when you grow up in church, because prayer and rolling and screaming and crying and dancing is supposed to be your end-all cure-all. But sometimes we need a little push when it comes to our mental health. Just like you tune up your body, you go to the doctor and see about what's going on with your body. There are times when we need to go and figure out what's going on up here and in here. So we have back wonderful Dr. Malika Brown. She is, oh my God, well-versed. She is a trauma specialist. That's what she does. So our hot topics for today. Our hot topic for today. I was very, 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 there's a lot of varies. I was very moved by Naomi Osaka. Mm-hmm. You don't know her. She's like one of the top tennis players in the world. I love tennis, by the way. I watch tennis all the time. I am a tennis fanatic. Didn't know that, did you? I love tennis. Time you trying to watch it. What they doing now? Was that a point? Tennis is such a mind game. It's a strategy. So I love the mental part of it, trying to get into your opponent's head. It's such a strategy game. So I love it. But Naomi Osaka, as a tennis player, when you're on tour, you have to go back to the press room and you have to give a press conference if you win, lose, or whatever. That's part of their contract. Well, if you don't, you are fined. 15,000 up to $20,000. So Naomi, who says she's dealing with depression, anxiety, she decided I'll take the fine because leaving the press, I feel worse, and it triggers. It makes her feel less than who she is. So Naomi decided, hey, so they fined her and they said, well, you have to go. She just pulled out. She said, forget it. I don't want the money. I don't know. She's done. I applaud Naomi Osaka. I stand with you because a lot of times we don't protect our mental health, our emotional health. We just don't. We allow people to do whatever we want to do. Oh, it's my cousin, it's my family, it's my mom, it's my sister. Yeah, we got to start working out for ourselves. So we have Dr. Brown. She is with us and she is going to talk with us today. Let's welcome Dr. Malika Brown. Put your hands together. Come on, Saints. There she is.
Hey guys.
Hey, Dr. Brown. Welcome back. We are so elated to have you back with us.
Appreciate it. Had fun last time.
The people, we had such an overwhelming response for you and Marsha. It was crazy because we had topics that people don't want to talk about, and we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to preserve yourself mentally.
Right.
We're also going to talk about how it correlates with how we grew up in church. If you didn't know, again, Dr. Brown is also a PK. Her father and mother are pastors. So we get the correlation between church and the mental aspect of what we were taught and what we should have been doing mentally.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Brown, what are some things that we can do to protect ourselves mentally?
Probably the easiest thing that you can do, that you can control, because a lot of things are out of our control. We can't always control our day-to-day circumstances. You can control your self-care. So what you do to protect yourself as a regular process. And so I know, Kenny Pat, we talked about this when you were asking me was I available for the show, is that I suggest people actually have a self-care plan. Like, what do you do weekly that is a part of making sure you're taking care of yourself? And it doesn't have to always be very deep. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I have to spend money, I have to go to the spa, or I have to do this. It can be simply spending time by yourself, quiet time. Nothing to do with your job, nothing to do with being a parent, nothing to do with being a spouse or all the other roles that you hold. We're talking about people in church. So whatever role you hold, auxiliary head or whatever that is, spend time alone, disconnected from anything that's work related in any capacity, whether it's ministry or your professional job. That's very simple. Sometimes just setting boundaries. I'm real big on boundaries. Church people have they don't do well with boundaries at all. Like, boundaries don't exist in the church. Like, we're in your household, we're in your bedroom. Like, we don't do boundaries in church.
So, come on, Dr. Brown.
We need to have boundaries. You need to let people know, nah, this area of my life is not for you. Like, this is for you. This is everything for me. And you have to set boundaries with people, because boundaries allow people to know what you're willing to accept, what treatment is acceptable, and when they've hit a hard line. And so that is a simple thing. Saying no. I had to learn this as a PK. You guys know it's hard telling your parents, who are the pastors of the church, no. I had to learn this with my dad the hard way. My mom's not as bad now. So, when dad passed away, my mom's a pastor now. She's not as heavy on us as my father was, but I had to learn the word no. No is a complete sentence.
It is a complete sentence.
Even if you are capable of doing something, it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Come on, doctor.
I have a lot. PKs, I'm going to just use PKs so you guys understand these sons of bishops. You understand. we have a lot of talents that were groomed because of our parents being in ministry. We had to learn how to do stuff to help the ministry. So we can do a lot of things. It doesn't mean that you have to do it. I had to learn that. When I was in grad school, I've been in the music ministry since I was like 6. I was a
Wow.
choir director. I was on the praise team. I did all of that. When I went to grad school and I was working on getting my master's and then going to my PhD program, I completely left the music ministry.
You had
Didn't
to.
come back till the pandemic because there was nobody else that could be at the church but the family members. So now I'm back on the praise team singing with my sisters. But I had been gone for years because the priority at the time was making sure that I took care of this area of my life. And I didn't want to overwhelm myself with too much stuff. I already had enough hats that I was juggling as a
Right.
mother, as a wife, and all the other stuff I was doing. So I learned how to start saying no. And it's not, sometimes we have guilt when we say no.
Right.
You got
Right.
to let the guilt go because reality is they'll find somebody else that can have skill set to do the exact same thing. If you were to drop dead today, they will
They
find
gonna
somebody else to direct their choir and teach their Sunday school class. Believe me, there will be
it
somebody
will
else
go
there.
on. Right? It will go on. Right.
Life goes on. So you have to protect your MVP. That's what self-care is. I'm the MVP in my life, and I'm going to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And that is just simple things. There's other stuff you can do, putting yourself first, and that looks various ways. Learning how to take a step back and knowing when to
Right.
take a step back. We're really bad about that in church. You could also ask for help. We're also bad
Yeah.
about asking for help. That superhero thing that we
That's
try to
what we
do.
were. That's how we were.
Yeah.
We were raised to never let them see you sweat.
Yeah.
You got to smile regardless. You got to push through. Come on, we need you. We need you. We need you. Got to push through. I was telling Dr. Brown, I have been blessed with such a village of people who I can actually pick up the phone and call and say, "Hey, I am not having a good mental, emotional health day today." And they will stop and they will listen. And just by talking to them, I can start figuring out, like, whether are you sad? Are you mad? They start asking me questions. Well, what is it? You just, sometimes you just wake up. Yeah. You just wake up. Yeah. You know, you're not necessarily mad. You're not depressed. You just wake up kind of, yeah, blah. So I have a group of people that I can feel vulnerable with.
But
That
it
I can,
forces you to be honest about what you
you have to
feel.
be.
We are not
You have
taught,
to
we're
be.
taught to put on masks and just still do the
Yes.
job and the task and not really deal with how we really feel. And
Whew.
that's a hard place. Like you just said, you wake up some days and you don't know why. You're just blah.
Blah.
Like I have
It's,
those days. And
it's
sometimes
just,
I don't know what's causing it. And then I have to dig into what am I feeling and why? Like what triggered me to feel this particular way? I'll give you an example. We've all dealt with grief. Sometimes
right.
a date on the calendar will come and
Mm,
you're not paying attention to the calendar, but you realize after you think about it, oh, today is a momentous occasion or today is a
right.
milestone date. Like I
That's
have
right.
that when it comes to the day my dad passed away. So he passed away in June. So I
Mm,
probably will have that moment at the end of this month. But Father's Day is also a hard day for me too.
Wow.
So sometimes I can put myself in the right mindset to say, okay, Father's Day is coming. Let me get myself together. But I don't always pay attention to it. And sometimes it sneaks
right.
up on
It
me
sneaks up on
psychologically.
you.
And
Mhm.
But
then
you
my,
can't. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. Go
No, go
ahead,
ahead.
Doc. I think sometimes we have to allow ourselves to say it's okay to have this day
Right.
Yeah.
and not feel guilty for having a blah, a melancholy day. Because again, we were taught you push, you go on, you smile.
Every
You,
day is a rosy sunny day.
but that's
Says
not.
who? The Bible
That's
doesn't even
not.
say that.
Right.
Like,
Right. Well, we were taught that, so
We
there's
were, and then
misconceptions
the
and
guilt of I'm a strong person. I'm strong, and I shouldn't be feeling this way. But
mhm.
again, like you said, we have to give ourselves permission to have those days.
There's some good
but we're
information. I took
human.
some
We're
notes.
human. And that's the biggest
We're
thing is
human.
that be human. We're not God. God is Jesus is the only perfect person to ever walk this earth. We're not him. So we have to realize that we're flawed. We're going to have human reactions and responses to life. And it's okay for us to be that. Allow
Mhm.
yourself to be flawed.
I love that.
Great information. We thank you again. Is there any questions? I wonder
Is
if anybody had any
anybody?
questions or would like to say anything to the doctor If we
come
got
on.
anybody in the comments, Ryan, put up the information,
Come on.
email Ryan for people that if you want to ask questions or join in on the conversation with us. This is the email to send to our producer, and he will put you in and give you a link, and you can come in. But that was some good information. I really enjoyed the part. Say sometimes we just have to disconnect from everything.
Yeah.
A lot of times this conversation was talking about church, but I'm thinking just in life, period. We need to just turn off the TV, get off the internet with all the fake stuff is causing us, making us mentally drained and stressing us out. To just break away from it sometime.
Now, through this pandemic, I mean, if you don't know if you need some kind of hello, this pandemic has caused people who never had anxiety to have anxiety. People who've never experienced quote unquote depression, because this has been such an uncertain time. I had days where I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Never know, right?
But like you said, you have to unplug. And I think mental health for me is so vital, because after our parents divorced, I went to therapy. I had to go to therapy because what happened to us was traumatic. We'll get more into that later, but I understood the importance after I get through singing, praising, and worshiping, directing the choir, and dancing and shouting and running around. I still had some issues. I still had some stuff that I needed to go sit down to this little lady I didn't know and talk to. And it gave me coping skills. So who's out there? Uh-oh. Hey, beautiful.
Hi, sweetie.
She looks familiar. It's my sister.
Fam.
Hey,
hi, Dr. Brown. I have a question. I'm Karen.
Hi, Karen.
So my question is, when we're talking about mental health and we're talking about self-care and we're talking about anxiety and depression, and especially coming from a church background, a lot of church people don't want to admit that maybe spending time by myself or doing those self-care things is helping. At what point does a person need to consider medication? And I know that's taboo, but at what point do you really need, when nothing else that you're doing is helping you come out of a certain situation, when do you consider medication?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a disclaimer. For psychologists, we're trained, we learn about psychopharmacology and medications and what they do, but we're trained to do everything else because we believe that talk therapy and other interventions are effective. But we also know that there are clients that will need a I can't even talk tonight, psychopharmacological intervention to get them stabilized while they're also going to therapy. I feel like they need to work together. So the pills are not going to fix the issue. The pills will help you get through a rough period, but you still have to deal with how you respond to those stressful situations, whatever those stressors are. So my thing is, if you are not able to function, so you have a hard time getting up, you have a hard time going to work, paying your bills, self-care as far as like bathing and the different things that we just take for granted as what you do, that's when you might want to consider that whatever you're doing at that moment is not enough in the moment. And you may need to look into a medication in the short term, because we don't believe that you should have to be on medications extensively, regardless of the diagnosis. There are a lot of people with diagnoses that we consider to be very like scary, like schizophrenia and things like that, that don't take medication at all. They do other interventions that have allowed them to normalize in their day-to-day lives. So I would say, if you consult a psychiatrist, because they're the ones that will prescribe a medication, you need to also have a psychologist or another clinician that doesn't prescribe, because that's where your balance is going to come. Don't depend on the pill to be a end all be all fix of the issue. It's just like pain medicine. Pain medicine allows you to get through the pain in the moment, but it doesn't heal the issue that's causing the pain. The only way you can get to what's causing the psychological issues is to deal with it, and talk therapy is how you deal with it.
Great answer, great question, and great answer.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's our sister Lenny.
Thank you, Karen. We're
Thank
gonna
you,
take
Karen.
one more question, and we'll
still
go to our
talking.
next episode. Chris,
Hey, Chris.
What's up, guys?
What's up,
good
fam?
to see
My
you.
family right there. Good to see you guys.
You have a question for the doctor? Or?
Yeah, I have a comment and a question.
Sure.
This subject is more needed now than ever before. It was needed back when we were kids. You know, Todd and those guys. Those are my cousins right there. So we family. But coming up in the church, my mother and I had this conversation before she passed a couple years ago, and I told my mom, I says, back then we didn't have support groups. We didn't have sit down meetings. Back then, all you heard was to whom much is given, much is required, and heaven and hell. And if you got, if something came out about you, you had issues, whatever, it got exposed to the church. And before you know it, you were sat down and you had to go through the whole humiliation process. And every church pretty much in the district, you got kids at your church that go to school with you. So they see you get embarrassed at church. Now you get embarrassed at school too. And it just makes things worse and worse and worse. What would you say if you could sit with pastors right now and these preachers and church leaders, knowing that people are coming back into the church building now after being gone for 15 months? You know, they've been pretty much unchurched for the past 15 months. Not everybody do virtual church. Let's keep it real. And you really can't grow where you need to just watching church every Sunday. You need people need to be, just like kids can't survive forever being homeschooled. You need that interaction with people. To me, it is crucial that we don't go back in the way we came out 15 months ago. What would you say to pastors that are just so concerned about filling the pews up and getting the musicians back on post and getting the choirs back in number, getting all the people back in place, and they're forgetting this very important element of mental health? I mean, all of us, like myself, I've been doing a ministry of working with senior citizens for the past 15 months a lot. And between senior citizens, my family members, and close friends, I've lost 51 people in this pandemic, 51. And maybe I'm built for what I do, but not everybody's built for this kind of thing. So how would you address these pastors that know that these hurting people are coming back in the doors now? And while you want to get talent out of them, get money out of them, what are you doing about the man, the woman,
So that's a lot, and I totally understand it. My perspective was different because during the pandemic, I was part of the skeleton crew that kept the service running for the stream. So I haven't been out of the church building at all. And I wish I could get a break. But for those who have been at home, they have had to adapt to something that was unknown to them, which this is how I looked at it. The churches, especially Black churches, had over a year to really adapt and bring their churches into the current ministry. It forced them. They didn't have a choice. If they wanted to keep their membership connected, they had to learn how to stream. They had to get better quality cameras. They had to make sure the audio was good. Like, it forced them to do something they should have done 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I say the Black church because you notice that white ministries, they don't usually have a challenge when it comes to the quality of what they send out electronically because they think larger than just the people that come into their building. So in tune with that, it should have forced them to look at having a holistic ministry, right? We have food programs. We do things with the senior ministry. I know our church, we do stuff with senior ministries as well. Some churches have prison programs where they go to the prison and minister to the prison, but we miss the mental health piece. You need to have either a group of professionals. If you just look in your church, you might even find some. They may be social workers, they may be clinicians themselves, but you need to identify the resource. If you don't have it in your church, then start networking with other churches. Maybe you guys can collaborate together and you guys can have a mental health team that works to support those ministries so they can address the particular issues. I know I was unique. One of the unique things that my dad did when he was pastor, he had an actual psychologist on staff for years. Like I had never seen other pastors doing this. Like 20 years ago, he was doing this. And he would always send them to the psychologist if it was something outside of a spiritual issue. You're going to have to do that. You can't ignore the mental toil that this pandemic has had on people. And I feel like it's compounded. The pandemic only was another like straw on the camel's back on top of the other stuff that church people have been dealing with and surviving through that hasn't been addressed. And that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we thank you. That was
Thank you.
You're
Chris,
welcome.
thanks for that question.
Great
Man. We love
question. Love you,
Great
Chris.
question, man.
Thank you. Dr. Brown, that was wow.
you. Once again,
Wow. Wow. I don't just wow.
it was good. We thank you for coming out.
Thank
This
you,
won't be
Dr.
your
Brown.
last time.
We love
I
you.
know.
You are a S.O.B. regular. You are a D.O.B., a daughter of a bishop. So that makes you
Yes,
S.O.B.
sir.
We love you.
We
Love you
you.
too.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. More great information on the mental health. So looking at the comments and seeing people talk about it. This is something that people are saying we need, should have been doing, and I think it's a great topic. It's one of the areas you said.
It's very important to me. Very important to me.
Yeah, it's one of the areas you said you want to, be our foundation and base for this podcast, and it is such. And thank you. And I think we had a good time tonight. People learned some things.
Again, Dr. Brown. Thank
Dr.
you.
Brown.
We love you.
Make sure you go to her page, like her, and follow her. Now we're going to go to our business spotlight. We're going to spotlight a business of the week. And this week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad to introduce to some, present to some, and introduce to others a young man I have watched literally grow up in at Greater Corinthian. Once again, the church connection. And he has a comedy club in Kansas City. We don't have that many black comedy clubs in America, and he has one. And let's welcome him to the show. Sons of a Bishop, S.O.B. TV. He goes by the name of Kevin Robe.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey,
what
How y'all doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Welcome.
I'm good. I'm good.
This your first time meeting my brother, right? Pat?
This is.
It is. Okay, Kevin, this is Kenny P. That's Kevin Robe.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Welcome.
Man, I'm so proud of you, man. A couple weeks ago, I was in Orlando. As many of you know, I tour and go out on the road with nephew Tommy. And we were backstage, and I was talking to some other comics, and they're like, "Where you from, Tom?" I was like, "I'm from Kansas City." Tom is stuff. He's like, "Hey, man, I forgot to tell you, somebody's been calling me about a black comedy club in Kansas City. Do you know anything about it?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I know something about it. They're my people." And so I wanted to make sure we got you on tonight, man, and make sure that people know about you, not just in Kansas City, but across the country.
Thank you.
Tell the people about your club.
Well, it's been open since July of 2020. I opened during the pandemic. It was a struggle coming out the gate, but we've been getting some nice headliners in here to fulfill everybody's needs. So
good. That's good.
Yeah. So it's been wonderful.
Now let me tell you some people. When you go, now it's not gonna always be some locals. Kevin has been having some national acts come out there and stand on that stage and represent. He's had Rodney Perry, T.K. Kirkland. We're not talking about just some average local jokers. He has the real deal. Let's support him. The club is called the Legends Comedy Club and Sports Lounge at 6151 Blue Ridge Boulevard in Raytown, Missouri.
That's correct.
What kind of let's go through some of your upcoming dates of who you have coming out to the club.
So I got coming up July 9th, I got Ray Grady coming out. And then July 25th, I have Shane.
Okay.
And then July 31st, I have Red Grant coming.
Okay. All of those names are people from Def Jam, Comic View. You can follow them online. You can see they have large following. So Kevin is bringing some top tier entertainment to Kansas City. So let's support him. And man, when you gonna be back on the stage? Now he's funny too.
Listen now. I'm on the stage every time I got a headliner in the building.
Okay.
I want to ask a question.
So what I try to do is I try to make sure that I get a performance in.
Okay. So I want to ask, so why a comedy club? What made you say, hey, I want to open up a comedy club?
Well, the reason behind it was I've been doing comedy almost 10 years. Okay. And for 10 years now, almost 10 years now, we've been having to do shows in nightclubs. You know, because we weren't allowed to, go out to the improv and things like that. So when I would tell people, hey, especially the church folks, I was listening to your last person on. I'm a PK also.
What? Another S.O.B.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I would tell the church folks, hey, come see me at this nightclub, they like, nah, I don't do that. Let me know when you at the improv. So I said that I wanted to build a platform for other comedians of my color. So we can get a chance to practice, as well as get an opportunity to say we did it on a comedy stage and not at a nightclub.
Got it. I love it.
Yeah, Kevin is. I watched him growing up.
I know the Saints do everything but go to the.
Now, Kevin also is the owner of the Prospect Party Place.
Really?
Yes. Did I say that right, Kev?
Party shop. That's okay though.
A party shop. Let me ask you.
It's a convenience store.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Do the Saints speak to you in the liquor store?
They do. It's not a liquor store, though. It's a convenience store that sells liquor.
Right. Okay, you fix it up for me, boy. Well, what pay them bills up in there, Kevin? Don't say that. What pay the bills though, for real? That liquor pay them bills, don't it?
It does. Hey, church folks got to drink too.
You need to make a T-shirt to say that.
More of them need to have a drink. A shot or two.
Yeah, you might need to make that into a T-shirt. Yeah.
You know what? I had a lot of church folks say, "Well, how is it that you go to church and you praise God, but you sell liquor?" And I'm like, "How do you go to Costco?" I said, "Because they sell liquor, and you ain't got no problem going to Costco."
Right. Well, you got the typical preacher son's answer. You biblicated that and everything.
I did.
About to tune up when you said it too. Well, one thing I was gonna say, one thing about Kev, he comes from a large family. You know how those large families have their own colloquium and speak. Yeah. But I can always tell Kev was that one. If there was any noise in the background with the other little shorties, I knew Kev was somewhere in the mix.
Always that one. But every family needs that one.
And Kev is that one. I'm always drawn to the clowns of the family.
Because Todd is the clown of the family. There's always been.
But Kev, man, I'm proud of you, man, and everything you're doing. Let us know anytime we can help.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I would say I am a full-time comedian also, so I got a show in St. Louis this Saturday.
Okay.
And I go on the road next week to Orlando.
Okay, cool. Well, man,
yeah.
Congratulations. This week. This is a flyer up. What's going to be out there? Make sure you call, make reservations. Let's support this brother.
Please,
like I said, there's not that many Black-owned comedy clubs in the country, and we're fortunate to have one in Kansas City. Kev, thanks for coming by, man. We love you.
Love you too, man. Thank y'all for having me.
You got it. Right, let's support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
He's funny.
Yeah, Kev is funny, man. He come from his mom was funny.
You drawn to you want a clown of the family to be drawn to the cause. Yeah, you is.
I know the clowns, the class clowns.
I was a class clown.
Comedy, comics. I know them. I can tell if they're good. I can see you as a kid. I can tell you. Speaking of that, me and Kev was talking. Anybody in Kansas City that is interested in your child learning comedy, send us an email because I forgot to talk about that with him. Me and him have been talking about having comedy classes at his club for youth. So if you have, I mean, in the skills that your kids will learn from comedy, public speaking skills, how to improvise, it gives them confidence. Then some of you got some straight clowns that I probably can make some money off this little joker if we could get him a coach or somebody.
Pay for that college.
Yeah, pay for not only pay for a college. Some got some little jokers that can set your life, put y'all's whole family in generations to come. You never know.
Yeah.
Send us an email if that is something you will be interested in. I know me and Kev are going to talk about that again, but that is something me and him have talked about, doing something for the youth.
I think that's great.
I think that'd be something.
Because the parents, your kids. You know which one sings, which one dance, which one's funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know your kids. Why not?
Yep.
Push them in that direction.
Yep.
Why not?
All right, let's get to our next guest. June is Black Music Month. Black Music Month is June, and we got a gentleman here tonight. That's our guest. He goes by the name of Velle, aka S.O.B. He is an R&B neo song artist. Excuse me, and a songwriter from Kansas City. He started singing at a young age. Velle has a rich range of soul, R&B, and gospel influence. Velle has graced the same stage as R&B crooner Charlie Wilson, and became his background singer for Charlie Wilson. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight is Velle's story of how he went to the concert and went on stage, and Charlie Wilson said, "You're going on tour with me."
Like that.
Wow. Took him that night. So we're going to talk about that story. He's also went on stage with Anthony Hamilton, Dave Hollister, Yvonne, El DeBarge, the Barcades, the Daz Band, and the legendary Frankie Beverly and Mays. He's completed a single Y from his new album, My Journey Continues. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, my friend, your friend, the voice, Mr. Voice of Kansas City.
Put your
hands together for Velle. welcome.
How y'all doing?
Boy, you like that intro? Like that intro, boy? Like that, you need to take me on the road with you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
Gonna go warm up real quick. You need a background singer.
Come on.
How you doing, brother Velle?
Hey, I'm blessed, brother. How y'all doing?
Welcome. Man. We're good. Welcome to the show.
We're glad to have you here tonight.
Happy to be here.
Man, celebrate Black Music Month, month of June. Velle from Kansas City. I want to speed up. We don't have a lot of time. I want to get, everybody, we could tell you started out in church, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here go the question. Everybody else been on the show. Here's the question. Are you a PK too?
I am.
All PKs tonight.
We everywhere. And we ain't all preachers, are we?
No, we ain't preachers.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, we should have asked. I already know Kev ain't no preacher. That one, a bunch of PKs and none of them preachers tonight.
That's right.
But man, this brother has a unique voice. I'm proud of him. Yeah. It used to be a time I would go out and people would ask you, "Oh, you from Kansas City? Do you know so-and-so? Do you know this person? You know that person?" And one thing I can say when they ask me about if I know Velle, I don't have to duck, hide, because he is just a solid guy, all around good guy, man. And as somebody from the city, I appreciate that. And that, man, you already know. I think because of your character and how you treat people and how you are, who you are, it has allowed you to get where you are, brother. And I salute you on that, my man.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So when did Velle know that this music thing was for him? When did that come? What age and when did it start for you?
Well, I mean, I always loved it because I started off playing drums. Okay. And I really didn't know that I could sing, because I was so into drums. And my cousin always admired my cousin Michael Boykin of the Sensational Wonders. It was a quartet group, and one of the members got sick, and I was playing drums, and they had me to try to sing a part, and play at the same time. And at that moment, that's when I discovered that, well, they were telling me, man, you got a voice, you need to start singing. So, I was always admired by it. So when I started singing it, that's really where it came from, man. It started from quartet singing.
Good old quartet.
Yes, sir.
So I guess you did the whole talent shows in the city. When did you go to that next level in your singing? After you've done all the quartet singing, and what was the next move in
Well,
your career?
for me, it was seeing going out and being in the bigger shows. And I knew at that point I wanted to do something beyond my hometown. I really had a passion for seeing people happy and how certain artists would make people happy. And I said, one day, I want to be that guy. And, like I said, and just performing everywhere, doing all I can to get known and get noticed. And, here I am now.
Who were some of those influences, the one that inspired you?
Man, I would definitely say, even before I even got with Charlie Wilson was one. Drill Levert, Dave Hollister, Prince, the Frankie Beverly and Mazes. And I'm a young guy, but I love listening to the older artists. So I had a lot of influence. Luther Vandross, James Brown. It was just something about each one of those artists that, had something that I enjoyed about them.
Okay. Well, let's go speed up to the day. Did you have a question, bro?
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm on the pettier side of the debate.
Okay.
So what was that song you sang and I killed that song in church? You remember that song? Whitney's was Guide Me, Oh Thy Great Jehovah. Do you have that one song that
I won't I won't complain.
I knew it.
All right.
Everybody remember that song. All great artists remember that one song.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
It's true. Everybody Whitney always said that song.
When they ask you to sing and it's the spirit of the moment, you can't think of nothing, But when they start singing, you be like, "Oh, I could have done that." But for me, it's a no brainer.
Everybody
has good days.
Go ahead.
Get my tambourine upstairs. Hold on.
But for you to pick that song, though, shows the kind of singer he is. That's not an easy song. That's not an easy song.
That's not in my wheelhouse.
Right. It's a lot of professional singers whose that song is not in their wheelhouse. That is a hard song. But
I'm a hymnal singer.
Right. That goes to speak. Right. That goes to speak of his quality and how he can sing.
I always ask singers that because they have that one song that they knew, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Now let's go fast forward to. Do you remember that day Charlie Wilson came to town?
Yeah.
You know the exact date, Lavelle?
It was February the 13th.
Come on. On what year, my man? The year
2019.
2019.
What was you wearing?
Nah, hold on. We're going to get to that part.
I had on all black.
What you have on?
It was February. Say the date again. February
13th. 13th.
Valentine. A week before that, what was you doing to get ready for that show?
Man, the week before that, I was preparing to change up the show and then trying to make it the best I could do, because I've done a couple shows with Charlie. And, I wanted to change it up a little bit, but I wanted to make it special. I performed that night. I opened up the show.
All right. Let me set it straight for everybody that don't know. Charlie Wilson came to Kansas City February 15th. Lavelle was one of the opening acts.
Okay.
He sung and opened up for Charlie Wilson on February the 15th. Did you have any communications with Charlie Wilson before you got and opened up that night?
Well, the first show I did with Charlie, it was me, Charlie, and the Barcades, and I
Okay.
was doing sound check, and his wife came out. At the time, I didn't know who she was,
Okay.
but I saw her. Then she left, and when she came back, she had Charlie Wilson with her, and
Mm-hmm.
so we ended up doing another show, and we had no contact. But then when we did this show, February of 19, I was doing sound check, and then I found out that I had to cut my show because they added someone else, another headliner.
Okay.
So I had to cut it from 20 minutes to like 12 minutes.
Don't you hate
So
that?
I do, and everybody know jazz, so I had to
Don't you hate
go around
get
the corner to
around?
the studio to get the show fixed.
Yeah.
And while I'm getting the show fixed, I get a phone call. Um, it was from one of Charlie's security guards, and he said, "Hey man, Uncle Charlie wants you back at the arena real quick. He need to talk to you." So I'm like, that's crazy. So I
Mm-hmm.
rushed back around there, man, and we were talking, and he just basically told me he'd been watching me, and he offered me the job that night, man, and it was kind of ironic, man, because I thought maybe he was talking, or you know how it is, man, when you really try, and a lot of people sell you a lot of dreams.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially in the
yeah.
entertainment
So
industry.
I was like, okay, maybe this is. So I didn't know how to take it, man. So when I got done performing, and the other artist came up, and when Charlie came up, he told me, stay close. I didn't know what he was doing, but that's when he made the announcement publicly.
Let's show that
And
announcement. We got it. Let's show the announcement and we'll come back. Go
okay,
ahead, DJ.
I promise you the job tonight. You're gonna be with Uncle Charlie now. Just hit me one with the notes right there. Let us sing. Said I said I love you. Said I really, 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 really do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boy.
I fuck with that. I almost ran out of here real quick. I quit.
I thought you was
Well,
gonna
man,
say
that boy can sing.
I thought you were
oh
gonna say
man,
Kansas City, I'm gone.
yeah.
For all you
and, and
haters.
and literally, man, it was I was gone. He said I was gonna start that next month. I end up leaving that night, and the next show was in Oklahoma, and no rehearsal. He believed in me so much, man. I didn't do no
Amazing.
rehearsal. When we got to Oklahoma, he had me a mic and headset. He said, "I'm not gonna put you out front tonight, but I'm gonna put you over on the side. Watch the other two background singers." He said, "But you're gonna have a mic. Get in there and do whatever you want to do.
Wow.
And the rest was history, man. So it was just a blessing, really. It was a blessing.
Man, that's great.
That's wonderful.
Like you say, a lot of times, especially you artists like that, you hear somebody say, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna put you on." And to see him literally do that, and not only that, I've seen people do that on stage just for the publicity and get the hype. And
Yeah,
artists end up being stuck in the city and never leave.
and never leave, man. But I
Never
will.
leave.
It's so much, man. I can't wait till I can actually get with him or do something, because what he did was really change. He changed my life.
Yeah.
Uh, and after that, all the other major artists, they saw me out with Charlie, and things just changed, man. Like I get around different artists now, man, and I don't have to ask, for the number or nothing. They say, hey man, take my math, let's connect, and it's just he was part of, putting me on the platform, man. He was part of making me who I am, solidify me as an artist. So
That's the
I
thing.
owe so much to him.
Wow.
That's the thing. To get that confirmation is nothing. And then you come in with one of the greatest vocally.
That's
That's
Charlie.
well respected.
I mean, come
And
on.
and I mean, it was kind of crazy, man, because Charlie had two background singers that's been with him for Aubrey been with him, I think 20 years. G been with him like
Wow.
8 years, but I was the
Really?
first guy he ever allowed to come out and lead sing with him. So it was just, it was just God's timing and what he did for me, he just, it put me in a whole nother level.
Wow. And then too, to read your when we read your bio, and then when you're saying some of your other influence, you spend a lot of time in Cleveland,
Yeah.
with the Levert family.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
know they real tight with you. So even you got to work with Charlie Wilson. You got to be around the Levert family. So
Yeah.
man, your life is like you have manifested your life in
Yeah.
so many ways, man. And man, I'm just proud of you, man. Where can people get your music? Let's this is what we want to do at S.O.B. On Thursday nights, we want to make an impact on somebody's life. Tonight, let's make an impact on Lavelle and his music. We're gonna make an impact on Kevin. We're gonna buy tickets to go to the comedy club. Let's make an impact with Lavelle and his music.
Let's
Go on all the platforms,
download,
download, ask your radio. I know they're playing them in Kansas City. We love them in Kansas City. They love them. Ask for your radio station to play them. But let's be impactful. Excuse me. A part of this association and our aggregation and our SOBs, we want to be impactful and make a change in people's lives.
You want to be about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I thank you guys so much for having me, man.
It's
Next
my
time
pleasure.
we need a little more time because I have a story. I have a true story, man, where Steve Harvey played a part in my life. Nephew Tommy, Eric Nolan Grin of the OJs, just a lot of I've been blessed.
Yep.
I've been
We'll have
blessed.
you back on another show where we can inspire people who are trying to get to where you are. So we'll definitely bring you back because you have information that can inspire people to keep pushing for their dream.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely have you because you're an example, so it can be done.
Yep.
Yes,
But
sir.
again, it's about timing, right?
It's about timing and really putting in the work.
And doing your craft, studying your craft, and making sure
That's
you're
it.
ready. And
That's
making
it.
sure you're ready because he wouldn't have taken you if you wasn't ready.
That's
Let's just
right.
be honest.
It wouldn't have
taken you if you
happened.
wasn't ready. It wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened. He sure wouldn't have taken me.
And bro, I can tell you, I know people that he could have took, but the character wasn't as strong as you.
That
right
Yeah.
there, Lavelle, man, that
and being likable.
Right.
Right. You could have somebody that can sing, but if they don't like them,
Yeah.
you work with people who you just don't like.
Yeah.
And like
I mean,
said,
that's for me. I pray, just being humble and loving people and just being natural, man. That's the key for
being
me.
who you are, being genuine.
Yeah.
Being
Being
bro, we
kind.
thank you, man. And
Hey, I thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
we thank you for being a part of this program tonight, man. And we'll catch up. I can either here, there, or if we in the airport, we bumped into each other there a couple times. So
Yeah.
man, I salute you, bro. Thanks, man.
Hey, salute y'all, man,
Thank
and
you.
much
Thank
love to y'all.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Val. Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too. Lavelle.
That's good. That boy can
That boy
sing.
can sing.
That boy can sing. I might need to do a shoe bop do bop one day with him.
Yeah.
Man, he have me direct his solo. What you think?
I don't know. You be wanting to go too wild. He ain't that wild. That boy, he is crooner. He's smooth.
Yeah, he sounded great.
Smooth.
I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's living out his dream.
Man, that's
Glad he's
crazy.
living out
That's
his
crazy
dream.
to come on stage and Charlie Wilson look at thousands of
Well,
people.
if I
and say,
do recall correctly, you, when you went to Mike Matthews that night, Ty went and you went to the play. Ty called me that night and said, I'm going on the road.
yes, it has happened to me. It did happen to me.
Ty sometimes would tell a tall tale.
No, I've
Hey,
never.
Negro, what you talking about?
I've never told a lot of tall tales. That was.
Here's it happened stuff to me. That has been skeptical. Let's say.
Say that.
Let's say that. I was like, Tyler, Pat, I'm going on the road with Mike Matthews. I'm like, Tyler, what are you talking about? Yeah. I'm leaving tomorrow.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
And he was gone.
I forgot to tell that part. Mike Matthews, I have seen people actually do that before. I've seen Mike Matthews.
Did you audition that night?
No.
What had happened?
Man, that's a long story. We gotta go.
Well, anyway, he told me he was gone. So Ty left that next day. He was gone for real. I said, he is gone for real.
I left. Yeah, I've seen that happen. I have literally seen people. I tell people this. A part of my life, I saw American Idol before American Idol.
Right. I believe
what I mean by that is in the stage plays every night after the show. First of all, they will make an intermission. If you want to go out on the road and you think you can sing, meet us at the front of the stage and we're going to audition you. So some nights, a lot of nights, I had to audition the people. So they trusted my ear. And then too, when you got Eric Dawkins, Isaac Caree, people that they will laugh at you in your face if you can't sing. So they would send me out there and then I would have to tell the people, okay, now you can look Eric and Isaac, Mike Matthews, they're going to listen to you and they be the final judgment. But I have literally seen people come down there, blow the house down, and they tell them, okay, go pack your bags. We leaving tonight at 2:00 and you can go with us. So it can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. But you got to be ready. You got to be ready.
Be also ready. Now, it's getting ready to close. We got to go. How we do on time today? How'd y'all enjoy the show today?
I hope y'all enjoyed the show.
Hope y'all enjoyed.
Comment, like, share, and subscribe.
Next week, we will be live on YouTube. We will have our YouTube channel. Tonight's show will be put on Sons of a Bishop TV at YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe, like, tell your friends and family about Sons of a Bishop TV. Next week, our guest will be that funny man. I've toured on the country with him. You've seen him on the Tyler Perry's plays, and the Tyler Perry movies, and the Tyler Perry TV shows. Palmer Williams Jr., Floyd the Barber will be on here. And we're going to talk about, he was the original Mr. Brown. Before there was Mr. Brown.
What?
I'm telling you.
How you lying?
I'm not lying. In the 1990s, Palmer created this character in the play A Good Man's Hard to Find.
Don't learn
something. At that character, he is dressed crazy with crazy clothes. He got on, but the only thing he didn't wear was shorts and had his knees. But everything else, Palmer created that character back in the 90s. So we say that was the original Mr. Brown. Well, I got a lot of stories. Got a lot of history.
That's a lot of stories.
So it's time to go, man.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. Remember to like, share,
comment, and subscribe.
Next week. Oh yeah, there's I got a record coming out, y'all. I got a record.
I got an album.
I want my daddy's records. Listen, it's called the Rent Party Project.
Blind Melody.
Blind Melody. I want my daddy's records.
Dumb.
I told Aaron Mayfield, who's in his 30s, I keep constantly, hey man, I want my daddy's records.
He don't know what he don't. The kids don't know nothing
These
about my
kids
daddy's
didn't know
records.
nothing about I want my daddy's records, so I had him go look it up. Now every time I call him, he's like, I want my daddy. He get it.
You got to reference the younger kids. You got to.
So I got a project called the Rent Party Project. In the 1920s, they used to have rent parties, and the musicians would come together.
I went to some in the 80s,
and they in the 80s too, and they would put the money together to help people with their rent. So this project is only 2 songs on the project. On June the 24th, we will be releasing this project, and the money that's going, we're going to help pay people's rent. I'm looking to come into Macon, Georgia. They're already talking to me. We're going to have a rent party in Macon, Georgia. So I'm going to try to put me a little tour together and go across the country and do rent parties and help pay people's rent.
I'm gonna get my tambourine and be a shoebox boy in the back.
Right. So y'all get ready. I need y'all to go buy my record. Buy my
Let me
record.
get my outfit together.
Buy my records. Because you know what? I'm trying to get a Grammy. As a man thinketh, that shall he be. I see myself getting a Grammy. Okay, the theme music, that's one of the songs. And then the second song is called I See You. It's a spoken word that I'm kicking these verbals to this lady, Sanaj, from across the room. So y'all gonna like that song too. So y'all be looking at
spoken word in music.
Kicking them verbals. Laying down some strong verbals.
Never a dull moment with this one right here.
So y'all be ready to buy
all my life.
Buy my record. Buy my record.
You want your daddy record?
I want my daddy's records. All right, man, let's wrap it up. We gotta go. And my little closing for me today is gonna be the same as last week. You can do what you want to do. There's no limits to how great you can be. Like I keep saying, manifest these things in your life. As a man thinketh, that shall he be. See yourself being that be.
Forgive yourself. Love yourself. You are more than enough. I'm out.
We out. This is S.O.B. TV. My name is Todd C.
I'm Kenny Pat.
We out. Let's go. Take him out, DJ.
DJ Robe.